I see Brooklyn is in the house. Come on out, everybody. Join the party. And we're here for one reason and one reason alone, and that is because Brooklyn needs Downstate. And we got a whole bunch of unions here joined together with community, and that's what it's all about. We will stand together and we will win together. I see Neisner is in the house. The Great Public Employees Federation, PAF, is in the house. NYSET is represented. We also have the United Faculty at the Fashion Institute here. IATSE, the union who put together the sound system, doing all the work. We got a couple locals represented. IATSE is in the house with us. And of course, last but certainly not least, I know that there are some CWA people here too. We hear CWA? Yes. How about UUP? Maybe a few people from UUP. No better way to start a gathering to honor a sacred place of healing than with an invocation. I'd like to call on the Reverend W. Taharka Robinson to bring us to a proper place as we start today's festivities.
Let's thank God today, VMU. Come on, let's thank God for the day. We're here fighting for this hospital, for the community, for the jobs, for health care. Let's thank the Lord for this day. Heavenly Father, we call upon you today to give us strength. We ask you to give us guidance on our journey to saving this hospital. We thank all the leaders who have come together to work together, to coalesce together, to bring about a means to save this hospital. This hospital is a staple in the community. It means so much to the community. There's jobs, there's health care. We need to keep our health care intact in our community. So we ask you, dear Father, come down today and help move the minds in Albany. Let's keep things intact. Touch the governor where she is to make the appropriate decisions on saving this hospital. We ask this in your name. And all God's people said, amen.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Now, I have the unenviable task of firing you all up. Actually, it's going to be pretty easy. I see the numbers keep growing, and that's fantastic. We have got an absolute incredible lineup here of folks who are going to get us all energized for the fight that continues on and will continue on. You know, when I think back to just a couple months ago, and the chancellor called me to tell me that there was a plan that he had put together in secret for 6 months. Is that right or is that wrong? No consultation with any of us, no consultation with the community that we call home. And that is wrong, people. We know that's wrong. And worst of all, perhaps, right now, is that he's not alone in embracing this plan. He proposed it, but the governor chose it and chose to impose it, which is wrong, wrong, wrong. Think back to a little over 2 years now, when the governor reached into the Seneca Nation in western New York, indigenous people, took $850 million from them, kept it in the treasury for about 15 seconds, turned it around and gave it to the Pegula family, who most of the year live in Florida, but who own the Buffalo Bills, so that they could have a new playground in Buffalo. Is that wrong? Is it made even more wrong when the governor says there isn't the money to keep Downstate open? How wrong is that? It's about choices. It's about choices. And words are not the same as deeds, so let's talk about some words. We saw the deed about building a stadium. We also have heard the governor talk about how terrible the maternal mortality crisis is in the African American community. Fine words, but it's deeds that matter. And if she embraces this plan to close this place of healing, she will be locking out black mothers and black babies, and that is wrong. We need her to turn around. We need her to realize the error of her ways. We need to be heard today and every day going forward, because we cannot let this hospital close ever. She can move, but she cannot tarry. What she needs to do up in her palatial mansion, the governor's mansion up in Albany, is to go into her library and take out the scriptures and look at Matthew 25. And understand that we all are judged at the end of our days by how we treated the least amongst us. So she better not tarry, because Brooklyn is rising. And we will not be stopped, not by a chancellor, not by a governor. This hospital will survive, and it will because it's the people's hospital. So we stand together, because we will not let it close. Not today, not tomorrow, never! Now that you're a little warmed up, stand by, because you're about to catch fire. I'd like to introduce a man who has stood at the forefront of this fight from the start, speaking eloquently, passionately, with all his heart and soul and his brilliance. And so, let us welcome the state senator from here in Brooklyn, Zellner Myrie.
So it's cold. It is cold. So I want to thank everyone for staying out here in the cold. I want to thank my colleagues who have joined. I want to thank all of you for standing with us. But today we're talking about fire. Because our community has been under siege from day one. And there is, with your permission, pastors that are with us, a story in the Old Testament about fire. 3 young men, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. And they were thrown into the fire because they refused to bow down. And they said, even if we die, God will be glorified, because we will stand on what we believe. So even in 32-degree weather today, we are standing in the fire, and we will not bow. We will not yield. We will never bow. It's not good enough that our black women die at 9 times the rate of everybody else. It's not good enough that we suffer from hypertension and diabetes and heart disease and kidney failure. That's not enough for y'all. What more do we have to give? What more do we have to sacrifice? What lives do we have to continue to surrender at the altar for y'all? We're sick of it. We deserve better. The facts already tell us, and this isn't the facts that we have made up here on this stage. This is the Department of Health's own report. They say if you live in this neighborhood, if you live in this zip code, your healthcare quality is below average. Their report said that. So you now come to us with the data and the information, and you say our solution is to close you down. Not to provide you with the resources, but to take the resources away. I will say it again for those who didn't hear me in the back. We are standing in the fire, and we will not bow, we will not yield, we will not stop. We are at this rally today, but if we have to hold 10 more rallies, we will hold 10 more rallies. Because we now have an opportunity to do something amazing. We will take this challenge. We will take this arrow that they have aimed at Central Brooklyn, and we will turn it around and have a maternal health miracle right here in this building. We will keep a kidney transplant center that serves not 30% black people, not 40% or 50%, 100% black people are served at the kidney transplant center. Think about all of the amazing babies to be born steps away from where we are. Think about the future that we are protecting in this very moment. And I want us to remain solid and unconfused. When you are standing in the furnace, you remember who was standing with you. And you also remember who was not. So pay attention, community. Pay attention. People will be coming to ask for your votes. People will be coming to ask for your money. They will want your support. And the question you must ask them, look them in the eye and say, when our lives were on the line, where were you? Where were you? So y'all know where we at. We're here. And we ain't going nowhere. Governor Hochul, Chancellor King, and every single person that abides by their desires, you are warned. We will not stop until victory is won. So thank you. Let's go win!
Thank you, Senator. We are lucky, those of us in the union movement, to have a fighter unmatched in this nation, perhaps in this world, in her dogged determination to build a more just and better world for all workers, indeed for everyone. It is a distinct honor and privilege to introduce to you the President of the American Federation of Teachers, my sister in struggle, Randy Weingart.
So, you know, I am sick and tired of coming to Central Brooklyn to fight against closures of Downstate Hospital. transplant center in Central Brooklyn, in Downstate. The next time we come to Downstate in Central Brooklyn, it has to be about expanding a maternal health center. Yes, we need to have a first-class facility. But right now, and Fred and the Knights and President Melinda Persons and I, we walked the halls with our PEF members and our UUP members a couple of weeks ago. Guess what? Med-Surg was full. Guess what? Unfortunately, the emergency room was full. You talk to any of the nurses and doctors and PTs and OTs and the people who sweep the floor and the people who come to the hospital, they need Downstate. It's like, what the heck is going on here? I mean, look at Central Brooklyn. Central Brooklyn is rising. Central Brooklyn is a centerpiece of black and brown communities around the world. Central Brooklyn through Downstate has a #1 nursing education facility. Central Brooklyn through Downstate has one of the best medical schools in the nation. And that medical school graduates far more black and brown doctors than anywhere else in the country. So look, I'm a social studies teacher, not a math teacher. But if you have A and B and C, that equals D and E of excellence. So what is going on here? How is it that Central Brooklyn is facing cost cutting from SUNY rather than care expanding from SUNY? It makes no sense. That's part of the reason you see and feel the anger from your great senator. It's part of the reason you feel the anger when we walk the halls. It's part of the reason you hear the anger from the community, because this makes no sense. But that is where and why the people are so important. Your senator and all these other folks that are up here, including our unions, including Fred, who has been tireless in this fight. Wayne, who has been tireless in this fight. Melinda, who's been tireless in this fight. I want to be serious for 1 second. You see that this doesn't make sense. They see this doesn't make sense. We have done the work in terms of the halls of Albany, and it still doesn't make sense. And that is why we need the people here day in and day out, because this is the people's fight to keep that hospital open. It's not just that Brooklyn needs Downstate. It's not just that Central Brooklyn needs Downstate. Now this fight is, why are you cost-cutting rather than expanding care in Brooklyn? This is a righteous fight. This is the fight we need to do every day. So I am asking you, are you with us? Are you with us? Are we going to fight every day? Not only to keep Downstate open, but to expand care for Central Brooklyn through Downstate.
Thank you, Randy. We have to juggle things around because we got people joining us and some who have to. Yeah, my head's getting cold. We've got folks coming and going, and we want to make sure everyone has an opportunity to speak because we are so united and so strong. I would like to ask to have Nancy Haggins, the president of NYSNA, to come to the podium. She's got an obligation, but she's standing, as NYSNA always does, at the forefront of the fight for justice in New York State. So it's an honor. Come on, Nancy.
Hey, is Brooklyn in the house? Are we ready to fight? Are we ready to fight? And when we fight, we win. When we fight, when we fight, when we fight, okay. I have to tell you, I can't believe I'm here to hear that Downstate is closing. It is unacceptable to propose to close Downstate. Central Brooklyn is one of the most underserved communities with the fewest hospital bed capital in this entire city. Are you kidding me? Why would you want to close Central Brooklyn? We have hit by closure attempt salaries. It was not long ago that One Brooklyn Health in Kingsbrook eliminated services in the community that we depend on. Now, that's why we cannot accept another closure. We cannot accept another closure. Health and Hospital Kings County cannot absorb all the patients that would come from downstate. King is still struggling to get nurses staffing where they need to work. We cannot overwhelm them with more patients right now. Our patients, our community, the black and the brown people need to be treated as VIPs. Every patient is a VIP. Every patient is a VIP. SUNY Downstate is a vital teaching hospital. They need essential training for our next generation of doctors and nurses, of people who look like us. We need it. So disclosure will be a devastating impact in our entire healthcare system. On a personal note, I remember growing up in the 70s on Staten Island. My parents came from Haiti. They spoke Creole. They would travel all the way to this neighborhood for care because you know why? Dignity and translation, because we needed the care that we needed. So we cannot sit here and allow them to close our hospital. This is our hospital. This is our community. This is what we deserve. We need to be treated with respect and dignity. This is the only place a patient with a kidney transplant will come. We cannot afford to send them to Columbia Presbyterian. They will not accept a Medicaid patient. We cannot go to NYU. We need a community. We need a hospital. Taking away this healthcare resource from a largely black and brown community, a Caribbean immigrant like myself, underserved community that needs greater access to quality care, not less to quality care. This is an injustice. It's an injustice. New York needs to invest in healthcare, not shut it down. And I'm proud to be here today in solidarity. Your struggle for healthcare justice is a struggle for healthcare justice. On behalf of the 42,000 plus members of the New York State Nurses Association, we will be right here in your fight for justice. We will be here as long as it takes. Whatever it takes, we will not back down. We will back down.
No peace. No peace. No peace. No peace. Next up, I want to bring to the podium a leader of the religious community in Brooklyn. It's just a little bit of background you should know. We've been fighting to keep Downstate open and growing and expanding for over a decade. And the leadership of the ministers in this community has been the rock and the foundation that has kept our movement going. And so therefore, it truly is an honor, a privilege for me to introduce to you the Bishop Orlando Findlater, pastor of the New Hope Christian Fellowship, and yes, a community advocate.
Brooklyn needs. Brooklyn needs. Brooklyn needs. Good afternoon, everyone. We are here as faith leaders, pastors in this community. We were here 11 years ago. We beat Governor Andrew Cuomo and the state of New York. And here we are 11 years later, we're going to beat SUNY and the state of New York. What the state should be doing is say thank you to SUNY Downstate. Because during the pandemic, the state designated Downstate as a COVID-only hospital. Brooklyn is alive because Downstate was alive. They said the building is falling apart. If the building is falling apart because the state neglected to invest in the building, and now they are staying in Albany and planning for us as though we are children. We are not children. We're not immature. We reject any talk about closure or reorganization. Brooklyn needs Downstate. What we need is more resources. Now, the budget of the state of New York is $233 billion. Will it be? And so if the state is serious about health care in central Brooklyn, they will invest in SUNY Downstate Medical Center. The only kidney transplant center in the borough of Brooklyn, we say no. What they have done is we say no. We say no. We say no. What they have done is to put fear in the community. And you better believe that they know what they are doing. Soon, students want to stop applying to SUNY Downstate if they believe that we're going to close. But we want SUNY, we want Albany to know we are not going away. We're going to march. We're going to rally. We're here to stay. If we have to go to Albany, we're going to Albany. But we are not accepting this plan because Brooklyn needs Downstate. Brooklyn needs. Brooklyn needs. Brooklyn needs. Brooklyn needs. And so to all of the workers, we say thank you. Because you take care of our community. To all of the unions, we say we are standing with you. We stood 11 years ago. We were here last year. We are here today. And we will be here until we get victory. I'm almost done. But since everyone came up here and quoted scripture, and I'm a preacher, I'm going to quote scripture. In the Old Testament, there's a story of David and Goliath. No one thought David could prevail because Goliath was a giant. Can you see it? SUNY is a giant. Albany is a giant. And we are David. All we have is a slingshot and 5. What they don't know is that we have an invisible help. God God is on our side. Because God is a God of the oppressed. God is a God of those who can't stand for themselves. God is a God of justice. And together we are going to win. I don't know how, I don't know when, but that giant called Goliath is going to come down, and Central Brooklyn will have victory because Brooklyn needs. Thank you.
Brooklyn needs. Brooklyn needs. And this is a fight for what? Justice! Justice! There are few, if any, individuals in this country who today can look back on a lifetime of being engaged in all of the struggles for racial equality, for social justice, for economic justice, for voting rights, for human dignity, than one courageous man who was here 10 years ago and has returned again. Ladies and gentlemen, a Brooklyn welcome to the Reverend Al Sharpton. No justice! No justice! No justice! No justice! No justice! No justice! We say no! We say we say we say we say we say we say.
All right. When I had the call from my friend and sister Randy Weingarten to send somebody to be at the rally, and when I know the services that Downstate has represented down through the years, I told her the best representative I could send is to come myself. I was born and raised in Brownsville. And I know Central Brooklyn all my life. And we have had a derelict of medical and health supplies and places to take care of the health and needs of our community. Downstate has been one of the few. Now they want to blame the lack of funding on the folks that made little do much. This staff has taken little and kept lives going, taken little and made people get through times that they had no other available way to get through. So whatever needs to be done from the state to the federal level needs to be done. But we will not tolerate you shutting down Downstate. We find money in the federal government to take care of people all over the world. And we should. So now find the money to take care of people in Central Brooklyn. We say, well, Reverend Al, when I go to Washington, it's emergency funding. Well, Downstate is emergency funding. They've been the emergency for us, and we need to be the emergency for them. And if we don't do our duty, people will suffer. There are health needs that are provided here
that are not available to others around. We don't have much choices in Central Brooklyn, so we choose to fight. We choose to stand together. We choose to stand with the staff. We choose to stand with our community leaders. We are not going to sit by and allow them to close downstate. Let me say this. I heard my friend referring to the Bible, and he did the quote on David and Goliath. So I wouldn't end without being the preacher in me. Jesus told a story of a man who was robbed and beaten and laid by the side of the road. He was laying there totally beaten and totally defeated and had been robbed. Someone of his own race walked by and looked at him and didn't have in the budget to help a robbed man. And he kept on walking. Someone else walked by that was pious and religious, had churches all over the town. He didn't have the budget either, but he kept walking. But then Jesus said one man came by of a different race and a different religion. And he stopped and helped the man and took care of the man and provided for the man. He was called the Good Samaritan. It's time for the state and the federal government to stop. Nobody had time for children in Central Brooklyn. Nobody had time for people that had needs of kidney in Central Brooklyn. We need some Good Samaritans in government in Brooklyn. We need to stay downstate. We need to save downstate. Save downstate. Save downstate. Save downstate. Save downstate. Louder. I don't hear you. Louder. Taylor. Louder. Thank you.
In fights like these, we need all the friends we can find, and they're everywhere. And oftentimes, you find when you're in a struggle like this, you can lean on people you have leaned on before, because they've been through the same kind of fights. At the beginning, when we all started, I mentioned and highlighted our union siblings in PEF. It is incredibly important that we stay united, and we are united. Not only because our strength makes us even stronger, but also because as leaders, I know I can turn to those who lead our other unions in coalition. And for me, none more than my brother, President of PEF, Wayne Spence.
Because we said lick shot, but we can't do that today. Alright? Alright. So watch out. We're going to talk in the monocle for a second because they bring me up behind two preachers. And I'm saying, what the rotted? Excuse me. So, with that being said, I would like to ask folks a question.
by show of hands, how many people have ever heard of the MRI? How many people have ever had an MRI? The MRI was invented right here at Downstate. This is who we are. We are not fly-by-night. We are not small. We are intellectually a powerful organization. This is who we are. We are not begging. We have proven who we are. In COVID, we stepped up to the challenge and we saved lives. If Governor Cuomo had his way in 2020, we would not have been here because we would have been closed in 2013. We stood up to the challenge during COVID and we saved lives. We should not have to justify our existence. We should not be here having this conversation. Governor Hochul, what are you smoking? Are you for real? Are you freaking for real? All right? Yo, me understand that they can't smoke up the weed and it's not illegal anymore. I mean, understand that they have all type of business to go on. But don't smoke that right now, let's talk real. We have proven who we are. We have done it. We don't have to prove ourselves. SUNY needs to be here. Brooklyn needs Downstate. We've demonstrated that this community that needs us, and we've demonstrated that we are up to the task to serve this community. So get off the crap. Stop the nonsense. I don't know what you're smoking, but let's get down and get this out of the budget. Thank you.
Yeah.
Woo! Woo!
We have a number of legislators. Actually, Assemblymember Joanne Simon was here earlier. She had to leave because she had a meeting to attend, but is standing with us. But right now, I would like to bring to the microphone an Assembly member who has immediately upon being elected so recently embraced our fight, indeed the fight for justice in healthcare and in social justice and racial justice. And so it is a great pleasure to bring to the microphone Assembly Member Monique Chandler Waterman.
Brooklyn needs Downstate. We all need Downstate. The world needs Downstate. I want to start off by saying thank you, thank you, thank you. As a young mom, was the most vulnerable time of my life during 9/11, almost 22 years ago. I had my first baby right here at Downstate. And it was the same union members, the same community members, the same family members that we have right here, the staff that made sure people like me, moms like me. Then I was told, my family's from Barbados and from Jamaica, we accept Wayne and we love him. We were told growing up that when you have a baby, you are 1 foot in the grave and 1 foot out. We later learned that there's something called disparities when it comes to maternal health, that black women are dying at a higher rate. That shouldn't have to be the narrative. But I had you, and I'm going to continue having your back, and I stand with you. about this plan, this closure, from my constituent, my neighbor right here. She called me and made me aware, unacceptable, that we find out. By the way, by chance, nothing for us without us. Community members have to be at the table. Who knows best about the issues, or who's closer to the issues to find solutions? Disrespectful. We're not tolerating. You don't do it to other communities. This community, the black and brown community, Downstate Hospital, that serves the largest population of black and brown, where we got so much disparities. We have to dodge bullets every day. We got to figure out how we're going to eat, how we're going to sleep. And now you make it seem like we got to choose between good, quality, affordable housing and health care. We need both. And don't pit us against each other. I was elected to serve the people. I got here by over 130,000 people who knew that they need somebody to represent them. I'm not going to turn my back when I go to Albany. What you see here in Brooklyn is what I'm bringing to Albany with my colleagues. You have to invest. You have to expand. Kidney transplant. Do you know why we got to be here in the first place? Because there's a damn liquor store everywhere. You're not feeding us with services. You're causing the issues. And now you have a part to be part of the solution. So to the administration, to the governor, to everyone who's in a part of this plan that we were not a part of, we are not going down. Right, Joe? We're bringing the folding chair everywhere we go. And if you know, you know. So I stand next to you, behind you, in front of you, as we lift you up. You are our community members. We love you. We appreciate you. We can't call you heroes only during COVID-19 and then give you zeros. We can't be out here clapping for you and then slapping you in your face. We are here for you. The world needs Downstate. And when you talk about Downstate, not just the hospital, not just the education institution, when you give people an inch, they take a mile. You don't stop them now. They're coming for other things. So we need to make sure we stand up. Don't wait till it hits your door. If it happens to one of us, guess what? It happens to all of us. Your New York State Assembly member, Monique Chandler Watering, Brooklyn needs Downstate.
Downstate! Woo! Brooklyn needs! Downstate! Brooklyn needs! Downstate! I don't think the governor can hear us. Brooklyn needs! Downstate! Brooklyn needs! Downstate! Excellent. We are joined today. Those of us who are in UUP, I think there's a few UUPers out there. Yeah. We are joined today by the president of NYSUT, who has from the first day that she became president made clear to me that the fight for Downstate, because we knew it was coming, that the 700,000 strong NYSUT membership would be with us through this fight. That's the kind of number, that's the kind of political power that can change the day, and we need it. And we know we have a strong fighter in the president of NYSUT, Melinda Person.
Good afternoon. Are you keeping warm out there? You want to jump up and down? Yeah, like that. Okay. All right, so I just have a couple of things I want to say. Fred said we have nearly 700,000 members, and I want you to know that all of our members from Buffalo to the North Country to the tip of Long tour with Raditha, my sister, and Fred and Randy. We took a tour of this building. We walked the halls. We visited the transplant center. We visited the children's hospital area, neonatal unit. We saw the amazing things happening in this building. It is not falling apart. There are no floods. It's all made up. What I saw were placards that talked about excellence. Excellence in Alzheimer's care. Excellence in kidney transplants, which have been mentioned. They told me, the person who was giving the tour said, well, in the maternity section of the hospital, they don't have bathrooms. And one of the staff that was near me, she said, well, when you're about to die or you might lose your child, you're not really worried about the bathroom. Right? We have a maternal health crisis, and we're removing health care. Does that make any sense? No. This is a public hospital that serves a public purpose. I did not see all these for-profit hospitals lining up to take care of us during COVID. Right? Somebody from SUNY said to me, Melinda, you don't understand. You wouldn't go to Downstate, not you. And you know what that means. Right? You know what that means. This hospital needs to be here for the future generations of Brooklyn, for the women and babies of Brooklyn. New York needs Downstate. New York needs Downstate. New York needs Downstate. Thank you.
Thank you, Melinda. As I said earlier, we are made powerful by the religious coalition, the ministers, the preachers, all who come together with us whenever we need to have a real strength behind us. And as we know, with God on our side, who can be against us? Right now, I would like to bring to the microphone, and he was telling me it's getting a little cold, Fred. Is it almost my turn? Rabbi Eli Cohen, it is your turn.
I know we're all in the same cold, but I guess I didn't dress warm enough today. But I want to say to everyone that this hasn't been a fight that we've been going, as someone mentioned already. Every couple of years it comes again, and every couple of years they put a Band-Aid on for another couple of years, and it's time that we invested, not a Band-Aid, an infusion, a transfusion. Let's dream about what this building could be and what it could provide to this community. On a personal note, I know I've been with an elderly relative in an emergency room in Park Slope overnight, and I saw the overcrowding that's in Methodist. We know about the overcrowding that's in the emergency room right here in Kings County. There's no overcrowding in the emergency room in Kingsborough because that's gone. There's no overcrowding in the emergency room in Brooklyn Jewish because that's long gone. There's no overcrowding in the emergency room in Interfaith because that's gone. You point in any direction, and those beds are being taken away. So we're going to have an even crazier crowding and overcrowding in our hospitals, in our emergency rooms. And there's going to be no place to support the wonderful specialties that are being provided for in this hospital. So let's dream big. Let's think about the future. Let's have an infusion, a transfusion, and let's see the future of Downstate be not just fixing it for another 2 years, another 3 years, but let's do something that's going to last us way into the future.
Thank you very much. As I said, we are joined by a number of legislators, and one who was also with us years ago when I was just getting started as UUP president. This assembly member was heard loud and clear about the necessity of keeping downstate flourishing for the long run. And here we are fighting again. And it makes me happy to know that she is with us, raising her voice loud and clear. And the governor will hear her all the way from here, louder than you all. I can guarantee you that. From the 55th Assembly District, Assembly Member Latrice Walker.
Yes, because this little girl from Brownsville, she knows how to be seen and how to be heard. Because I learned from a great fighter in healthcare, the Honorable Dr. Una S.T. Clark. So I heard my brother from PEP, Wayne, he did his thing, and I said, you know, well, I'm from an island too. I hail from the island of Hilton Head. Some of you will get that when you get home. Then I walked up and I heard the pastors do their thing. They were reciting biblical verses by heart. And I said, God doggone it, they in spiritual warfare now. They're in spiritual warfare right now. Because I remember as a patient at SUNY Downstate, and I was NPO'd. So y'all know what that means. It was critical. I had pancreatitis. Nothing I could have by mouth other than the ice chips that my nice nurse would bring for me every day. And I recognized that I had to go into spiritual warfare at that time as well. And then I said, as I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, none. Then I recognize from hearing the pastors that we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but we are here battling spiritual wickedness in high places. And we are on the battlefield, and we have on the full armor. So I know that we will be victorious. I also know that we have been in this fight before. Billions of dollars have been given in federal aid based on a federal Medicaid waiver, and when we ask them for some of these resources, they say, you know what, it's not for SUNY Downstate. But the dollars that you are saving by not having to pay back the federal government can be used for our hospital. Yes, Brooklyn needs downstate. Yes, New York needs downstate. But Latrice Walker needs downstate. So we know that from Washington, we've heard Dr. King say that he showed up there to cash a check. And so that's exactly what we stand here today to do. Any other hospital Medicaid is paying 100% of the reimbursement rates. And the Medicaid equity problem that we have is the civil rights issue of our time.
I told you she was good. I told you. And it's getting warmer, isn't it? I keep telling myself that. Yes. Staying strong, people. Staying strong. And now we are joined by faith leaders. And one who has been with us right from the start when this story started to break just a few weeks ago. And is with us now. I want to bring to the podium from the Lenox Road Baptist Church right nearby, Reverend Dr. Kilpatrick Cohall.
Brooklyn needs, New York needs, America needs. I stand with you this evening as a pastor and faith leader in this community for 28 years. And I stand with the unions, I stand with the men and women who brought us through 3+ years of COVID. I stand with our medical students, our nurses, and our whole host of medical practitioners. We stand to say we will save Downstate. I also stand with the hundreds and thousands of residents of Central Brooklyn who rely on Downstate for their health care. Downstate has been on the forefront of fighting for equity and access for the best health care in this city. COVID taught us the enormous disparities in our healthcare system. It revealed that these disparities are rooted in racism and discrimination. That is why we view with great suspicion what they are trying to impose on us here in Central Brooklyn. We need to keep Downstate open to deal with all of these inequities and disparities in our healthcare system. So today, the clergy, we join this fight. And we call upon the state and federal government to rise to the challenge and save this historic medical institution. Don't save it in a fragmented kind of way. Don't save it in a disorganized way, but save the whole Downstate institution. Consider the consequences of seeing this institution close. Just think about it. Not only will jobs be lost, but access to quality health care in Central Brooklyn will be severely gone. The domino effect will be felt right across the city. So we say now, Brooklyn needed Downstate in the past. Brooklyn needs Downstate today. Brooklyn needs Downstate in the future. Brooklyn needs Downstate. Brooklyn needs Downstate. Brooklyn needs Downstate. We stand together to fight this fight. God bless you.
We also are joined today with representatives from the New York City government, and includes several members of the City Council who have sent representatives, and we thank them. And also, most importantly, a true voice for justice in New York City for such a very long time and heard across the state in his role as a New York City public advocate. Ladies and gentlemen, Jawadi Williams.
What's up, Downstate? It's good to see y'all. I expect to see y'all 50 years from now, too. It's cold out here. They're talking about Caribbean people out here in the cold. So we're at a point where everybody has said everything, but I ain't say it yet, so we're gonna keep going. About 35 years ago, I had an emergency appendectomy at SUNY Downstate. My sister got a master's in nursing degree at SUNY Downstate. My primary care doctor works out of SUNY Downstate. I don't understand how you can come through COVID where this community was hit the hardest. More people died from communities like this when we talked about finally understanding the connection of healthcare and safety, and your response is shutting down another hospital. Why is it always in communities like ours that you got to shut shit down? Why aren't you always talking about we need more infusion of resources to communities like ours? You're not shutting down Stony Brook. You're not shutting down other places. Why are you shutting down SUNY Downstate? Healthcare is a necessity. Healthcare is a right. Black and brown people need healthcare too. Immigrant communities need healthcare too. Low-income communities need healthcare too. Why don't you help them dream the same dreams that wealthy people dream? Why don't you help them dream of the healthcare that people get when they're wealthy? They deserve that too, don't they? But for some reason, you year after year disinvest in things and then say we gotta shut it down. Whatever problems we have, it ain't start this year and it ain't start last year. Somebody messed up more than once. Why we gotta pay for it? I remember I heard somebody saying Governor Cuomo specifically divested from what was going on here. And now you want to shut it down? That ain't what we're doing. You got all of us connected. You got all of us united all over Brooklyn and New York. You ain't gonna come in and just shut it down. How do you have a community plan that the community wasn't a part of? That don't make sense. If you have a community plan, the community said we was involved. No one here was involved. That doesn't make sense. I gotta say something to my faith leaders and my union leaders. I love y'all. But you gotta make sure you be careful who you let in your temple, who you let in your church, and who you endorse. You gotta be careful about that. Because they came time after time after time, and this is what they do to my people. We gotta make sure that we know our vote means something. Stop giving our vote to people saying the same thing year out, year in, and doing stuff like this. This makes no sense. We need more health care, not less health care. Kings County suffering too. Everybody's suffering. You ain't the only one. We have to stop. On this bill to Ukraine, we have money for what we think is a priority. What I need us to stop doing is saying that necessities and things that are right should be based on profit. If you have things like healthcare and housing that are specifically based on profit, what you're going to have is the type of healthcare and housing that we have right now. We need to focus on what people need and invest in what people need. We have to invest in what people need. If you don't invest in healthcare, what do you think is going to happen? So we are telling you, you are not going to come with a community plan that the community's never heard of and say, how is your opening salvo and your opening conversation, we're going to shut it down. That's not how you have a conversation. You come to the community, you come to the leaders, and you sit down and say, this is the problem, let's develop a plan together. And whatever plan that is must result in better health care, in better infrastructure, in a better product than what we have now. If we have the money to send all over the world, if rich people got richer during COVID, I want black, brown, poor people to get healthier today. And the way you do that is keeping Downstate open and make sure people have the health care that we need. And if you don't do it, don't come back for election time. If you forget about us, we're going to forget about you. Peace and blessings, love and life.
Thank you, Jamani. Woo! it does make me wonder sometimes. You go back a couple of years, there were a lot of folks wearing T-shirts that said Black Lives Matter. Lots of people saying that, too. There's a lot of people apparently were just wearing a T-shirt and didn't mean it. Because those who have the power can truly act in a fashion that will prove that they do believe in their heart of hearts that Black Lives Matter. And I do want to introduce someone who has been a comrade in our fight, who has come in at a time, I don't envy her, who's right in the middle of a crisis, and yet she has shown incredible strength, spirit, determination, courage, the kind of leader that we need in every union, in every struggle, in every community. And that is UUP chapter president here at Downstate, Raditha Abraham Nichols.
Already said. Well, I'm gonna call it what it is. It's racism. It's social injustice. It's creating health disparities. And guess what? We're not gonna take it. When I came here in 2001, they wanted to shut us down. They tried again 2012, and now they're back again. And every single time, what have we done? We have saved SUNY Downstate. They talk about community involvement. Last night, the night before, they had forums. About 12 people came. Not one person of color in that group that's engaged in the community. And I went in there and I said, so what's going on in there? Can I come? He said, well, I'm just from the community. I don't know why SUNY is doing this, but I'm just here to hear what your ideas are. I just want to know what you think. And one of the reports I got back was they said, all you have is $300 million. What are you going to do with it? I am tired of people telling black and brown people how we should spend money, what we should do, and how our health care needs to be. I am tired of it, and I'm not going to take it. I had someone said to me today, oh, well, Downstate keeps losing money. I said, hospitals were created for public good, not for profit, not for profit. So why is this happening over and over again? We are sick and tired of it. I'm telling Governor Hochul, your approval rating is dropping. It's 42%. The black and brown people, we're going to take it to 26%. You better listen up. Downstate is going to stay open because we are going to train the next set of healthcare professionals that are culturally diverse, and we are going nowhere. You know why? Because Brooklyn needs Downstate.
Yes, we are going to win. We are going to win. And joining us as well from, and we've had a number of folks who were here, as I said, had to stay. But I did notice one gentleman over on this side. He has borne up in the cold and has stuck through now to almost the end, but not quite. Oh, yeah, I will, yes. Before I introduce the senator, I do need to recognize the Brooklyn chapter of the NAACP, who is with us. Yes, Rita Joseph, who is the chapter leader and is with us in this struggle. And now joining us, another member of the New York State Senate. I almost just called you a United States Senator. New York State Senator Andrew Gennardis.
Are you guys cold? No, you're not. You're fired up. I'm State Senator Andrew Gennardis, and I represent parts of Brooklyn right alongside Senator Myrie and right alongside Senator Brisport. Let me tell you something. I've been in government for 10 years here in Brooklyn. And from the first day I got into government in Brooklyn, every single time they talk about closing hospitals, Brooklyn is always first on the list. This is not a new fight. time and time again, when they look to save money on the backs of black and brown communities, they come to Brooklyn first. That is not right. That is not right. The same people today telling us that we need more money for downstate, it's not financially viable, are the same people who starved it for money for years and years and years and years. The same people saying the building is falling apart are the same people who wouldn't let the repairs be made in the first place. Why is it that we can build new hospitals in wealthier communities across the river, but we have to close hospitals in lower income communities here in Brooklyn? That ain't right. And so today it's about downstate, but let's be very clear. Tomorrow it's going to be about the next safety net hospital in Brooklyn. And the day after that, the hospital after that. So we have no choice but to win this fight. Because when we win this fight, we not only protect downstate, we protect every other one of our safety net hospitals in this borough, in this city, which are serving the neediest New Yorkers who need quality, affordable, accessible health care. That's what this is about. So I am going to stand with you all. We are going to stand with you all and make sure everyone hears us loud and clear that Brooklyn needs downstate. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much, Senator. Also, we've got another senator who is here. I walked past him like 3 or 4 times, and I didn't notice him. I feel terrible, but I think he's over it already. Joining us from the 25th Senate District and a staunch supporter and ally in the struggle for justice, whether it's racial, economic, healthcare justice, Senator Jabari Brisport.
It's good. I know I was blending in. It's all good. Listen, y'all, I know it's windy. I see y'all shivering. I see y'all dancing. So I'm going to give you 60 seconds or less. Now, it's been said, given that we need more health care, not less. We need more jobs, not less. We will not be deterred by those who say your health costs too much money, or those who say your job is creating an operating deficit. Tomorrow is March 1st. The state budget is due 1 month later on April 1st, and we will not balance it on the back of Central Brooklyn when Brooklyn needs downstate. If you can read my hat, it says tax the rich. In one of the richest states in America, with more billionaires than any other state in America, we will make them pay what they owe to the people of New York, and we will stop SUNY Downstate from closing by April 1st. Let's go! Brooklyn needs downstate! Brooklyn needs downstate! Brooklyn needs downstate!
Thank you. Thank you very much, Senator. We have the support of the state AFL-CIO, and representing the great president of the AFL-CIO, Mario Salento. Joining us today is, and I got to find him on my list. God, where did you? Oh, there you are. Sorry. Ryan Delgado, Chief of Staff for Mario Salento of the state AFL-CIO.
Thank you, Fred, and thank all of you for hanging in. I know it's cold out there. You know, it's real easy for people 150 miles away from here to make decisions about the future of this hospital based on balance sheets and income statements. But we're talking about lives. Lives that can't be reduced to a spreadsheet. And if you want to talk about numbers, I'll talk about numbers. Let's talk about the 2.5 million union members that the New York State AFL-CIO represents across the state. Let's talk about the hundreds of thousands of union members that live right here in Brooklyn and their families. They rely on downstate. See, this isn't a fight just about the 3,000 union members that work here at downstate. This is about the teachers, the firefighters, the construction workers, the utility workers, the transit workers, the retail clerks, the food service workers. They rely on this place. This is where they come when they get hurt. It's where they bring their children when they're sick. It's where they come when they're going to have a baby. It's where they came when they were sick and dying with COVID. COVID, you remember? You remember we all called them heroes? It seems like some people have forgotten. We have not forgotten. They deserve better. This community deserves better. These patients deserve better. And we are going to fight until we win. Downstate's not just going to survive, it's going to thrive. And we are going to win because we are union strong. Are you union? Are you strong? Let me hear it. Union! 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 Thank you.
We are honored to be joined today to bring us, I think, to a very appropriate conclusion. The director of the Caro Center for Religions, Rights, and Social Justice, and the co-chair of the Poor People's Campaign, a national call for moral revival, the Reverend Dr. Liz Theoharis.
We live in the richest country in human history. But poverty and the lack of health care is the fourth leading cause of death. When we close hospitals, people die. And that is not just wrong, it's evil. I am a Christian pastor, and I follow Jesus Christ, who never shut down a hospital, who refused to charge a leper a copay, but instead said that we should have life and have it to the full. We, in the Poor People's Campaign, a national call for moral revival, stand with you. We know that Brooklyn needs Downstate. We know that New York needs Downstate. And we know that these yet-to-be United States needs Downstate. Here in the Bible, and we've been hearing about it today, in the Gospel of Matthew, a sick person comes up to Jesus and says, "If you choose, you can heal me." Well, we are in that situation today with Downstate. The governor, the chancellor, the people in power throughout this rich state and nation have the resources to choose not just to save Downstate, but as we've been hearing, to expand health care as a human right to absolutely everybody. Nobody out, everybody in. And we will fight like we have before and we will do again. It took faith leaders and labor and mostly this community fighting to save this hospital. And
And when we organize, we can win. Brooklyn needs Brooklyn. 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 And we will win.
Okay, I wanted to recognize that we have representatives and messages that have come to us from Senator Rodney Bishop-Hermelin, and also been joined by staff members from Senator Roxanne Broussard and some city council members as well. I want to simply close with a couple of very simple words, and that is, first and foremost, thank you for coming out, for staying with us, for those who did, and for committing to this fight that must be won, because we cannot lose. And so, as we go, know that the battle has just begun. We have justice on our side, and with that, and a firm commitment to the right, and we know we are in the right, we will win. And we will continue to shout from the highest mountain that Brooklyn needs downstate.